Hey guys, welcome to today's Vehicle Visionary. Today we're going to do a quick tour and test drive of the 2021 Land Rover Range Rover Evoque. And we'll take a look at what's new, even though you're not going to see that on the outside, as what's new is on the interior. And we'll take a look at that shortly. I will list the safety features on the screen that you can expect with this model, at least what I can fit in my graphic. That way you don't have too much to read. Don't want to overload you with information, but of course, if you want to know more about this Evoque, check out the link down in the description of the video to the Land Rover of Shreveport website where I borrowed this model from. And we'll just take a quick look here just so I can show you what is new as far as 2021 is concerned. And we'll, like I say, we'll take a closer look at it, and I apologize for the chime, but I have the engine running so that you can see the headlights on. But here's one thing that's new. It is going to be the steering wheel as well as the infotainment system. If you're familiar with the newest generation of the Land Rover Defender, and you're going to recognize where those changes came from. And you do have the premium LED headlights with the signature daytime running lights, just to show you what all is there. And just taking a quick look here at everything, don't mean to blind you with the lights there. There are some of the sensors on the front end, sensors all around the vehicle, and you also have a great surround view camera system. You can see from multiple angles and zoom in, and we'll take a look at that in just a minute when we take a look at the interior, as well as all of the other great features that are found there, some that are new, some that are not. And here under the hood, you will find the 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. It puts out 246 horsepower, 269 pound-feet of torque. The gas mileage is estimated at 20 miles per gallon in the city and 27 out on the highway. It's mated to a 9-speed automatic transmission, and this model is all-wheel drive. And if you're wanting to know, those are 20-inch rims. And here's a quick look at the remote if you're wanting to know what an Evoque remote looks like. No changes in that area for 2021, but you do have the power side view mirrors that do fold in when you lock the vehicle, and that sound you just heard is not actually the horn, it actually is the alarm setting, just a chime that lets you know. Kind of sounds like a horn from a Volkswagen or something like that. And when you walk up to the vehicle and unlock it, you're going to find the door handles will be presented to you, and I know you probably can't see that very well, but you have the Land Rover logo down there, or at least a silhouette of a Land Rover, we'll say. A little bit hard to see on the floor in here, but not as hard as it would be if we were outside. Now, just to prove to you that this horn does not sound like that of a Volkswagen, there you go. There is the sound of the horn with the Evoque. Now, one of the things that you're going to notice, this does have a very nice look to it. A very nice subcompact luxury crossover SUV. That is what this is listed as being. But one thing you're going to notice here, see how the roofline tapers down? Well, we'll take a look at something that is going to be very helpful if you're not already aware of it, that's actually found right here on the little fin on the top of the vehicle. And as I open the rear lift gate, the power rear lift gate on the Evoque, I will list the cargo space on the screen. Now, let me change our position here. I know a lot of people are not big fans of the tire repair kits. While I can't get the floor all the way up to show you the full spare tire, there is your spare tire and the tools that are needed to change that in the event that you ever needed to. And as we begin to work our way into the interior, first thing I want to show you right here, if it's something you aren't familiar with, on all 4 doors, you're going to see this. That is the clear exit monitor. That way, if you're hopping out of the back seat, before you open the door, that basically is a warning to check around the vehicle, make sure there's no pedestrians, cyclists, other vehicles coming, so you don't open this door out into the path of something that could damage the vehicle, it could hurt somebody, whatever the case may be. Just a nice little safety feature there. And as far as lowering these seats, there is a release right here on the top of the seat. You can let that down and get the seat belt out of the way. And that's how you're going to maximize your cargo space. But If you would like to lower the center area only, there's a button on the top. Let's see if I can find that here. There we go. That you can lower that down as a pass-through if that's something you wish to use. If you have the need of just putting something through the middle right there, a pair of skis or whatever you may be doing, that definitely helps out. And as you can see, of course, there is the fold-down armrest, cup holders, all that good stuff. You do have your dual air conditioning vents back here. You also have heated seats in the rear. Heated only, not cooled. And just a quick look here on the passenger side at the front seat. You do have power seats. You have the massage function, and you can actually adjust 3 different settings. And I'll show you how to do that as far as how aggressive that massage function is. And it's going to be on the rear, on the seat back here is where you're going to have that. You'll actually have it on the seat cushion itself down here that you sit on. Not a bad thing, but they are also heated and cooled, so that is always a nice feature. And you have kind of a little pass-through here in the center right there, as you can see. And within that area is where you will find wireless charging for your cell phone. Okay, just kind of to give a quick look at what you have here. Of course, seat memory right here, as you can see. And all the buttons and switches and everything you would expect. You have power seats, not only for the driver, but the passenger also. And let me just go ahead and give you a real kind of first-person view here. Here is the button for starting the engine. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Let everything start up, let you see the instrument cluster graphics and everything that we have here as far as the infotainment screen. You do have the upper and lower screens. The screens are basically the same as what we've seen in previous years with the Evoque as far as 2020 went, but you're going to notice that the overall system itself has changed, like I said, to that of the same system that is found in the Land Rover Defender. Just a quick look here at the features and functionality that you have here on the steering wheel mounted controls and paddle shifters here if you wish to use that in dynamic mode. And speaking of that, let's just take a quick look here at the different driving modes that you have as far as the Evoque goes. I'll just run through these real quick and notice how quickly that comes up. One of the things I know that people talked about in the past was that the screen was a little bit laggy. You don't have that here. This is actually a great improvement. I think that Land Rover has done a spectacular job. Of course, there is dynamic mode if you want to use that. Multiple modes for driving your Evoque. Now here is how you're going to turn on the massage function. And like I said, you have multiple settings actually. It goes all the way up to 5. And if 5 is too aggressive, you can find your way down on the dial here as far as what you want. If you want to turn that completely off, it can go to 0 right there. I'm going to turn that off. And also, let's hit that button right there. It's not because it's lagging, it's just my not touching the screen hard enough. But you also have heated and cooled seats, as you can see. You've got heated right there. You can scroll or dial your way over. I should say that's really not scrolling, is it? To the cooled seats. Not really something I need today so much. Don't really need heated either. It's just one of those kinds of days. And when it comes to AC, pretty much the same thing as what we've seen in the past for the most part. A little bit of a different design, but it still works the same way. There is the selection for fan speed, and you're going to use the dial on the right-hand side for that if you want to. Pretty easy to figure out, pretty easy to use. But I do want to show you a few features here, especially with the cameras, and that's what we're going to really focus on here because that is a change. If I can get that to work again, that's really more my finger not touching the screen well enough or hard enough. But if you want to actually change your view here, maybe zoom in on an area of the vehicle, that's how you're going to do it. It takes a little bit of getting used to, but once you get used to it, it's not that hard to use. Pretty simple and really nice. And I like the fact that not only can you see it from this angle right here, but over on the left-hand side of the screen, you can change the view to whatever you want to see. If you want to zoom in on something, that's how you're going to do that, whether it's in the front or in the rear. And if you notice the screen kind of blinking just a little bit, well, that's because I'm using a GoPro. That is just a shutter speed issue that I don't know how to fix that on a GoPro. If somebody does, tell me down in the comments. but that doesn't mean that there is a problem with the screen. And of course, you can go in and adjust this. A lot of the same features and functionality from the previous generation, but just to show you what all is here as far as your different settings go, you've got your eco data right here just to show you what's there as far as the different information that you can take a look at. Pretty simple system to use though. If this is new and you're saying, wow, I don't know if I can get used to that because I just got used to my previous year of the Evoque, whatever that may have been, pretty simple, pretty easy to figure out. What I call the hunt and peck method. If you understand what I'm saying, you just kind of hunt and peck your way around and figure out where the things are that you want to look at and use. Now, let me show you another nice feature here, something that I like a lot. See if I can get the right angle here. Now, as you can see behind us, there is the rear view mirror. Now, depending on your height, with the rear view mirror as it is currently set, it might be a little challenging to see out of that rear view mirror or out of the rear window, especially if you have to adjust the height as high as I do at 5'10". But that camera that I showed you with the shark fin on the top of the rear of the vehicle, that is the camera view that you're going to have, the clear sight rear view mirror that we've seen in other models. But just so you know what's here and how that works, and you can make adjustments to brightness and where it's actually looking on this side right here on the right. So if you want to change the brightness right there is how you do that. And then we can change the angle as well, just so you see what's there. Very, very nice. And just taking a quick look here at the dashboard, everything's pretty easy to figure out. A lot of nice features. You got your digital and analog speedometer. And of course, when you go into gear, you're going to see that change on the dashboard as well. Just nice, simple things, nothing really new in that respect. Traffic sign recognition, as you can see there on the speedometer side, right under the digital speedometer. But just a lot of really nice features here. But one thing I really like about the Evoque is that it rides and drives really well. Let's get on the road and show you exactly how that works. All right, we're gonna hop out on the road here, and I'm starting off in comfort mode for a very specific reason. This is one of the worst roads in the Shreveport area. And I'll tell you what, even though you can hear the Evoque driving over the bumps and everything, I can feel the vibration of the vehicle just a little bit, but it's not bad. It's actually very comfortable. Not a big deal. It's soaking up the bumps quite well. Now, to reduce some of our road noise that we're dealing with here, let me hop over into the left-hand lane where it's smoother, not perfect, but smoother. We'll be on paved road here shortly on some asphalt. But there are a couple of things that I wanted to make sure I made note of during the test drive here that I didn't mention earlier in the video. Of course, you do have a heads-up display here. That is always nice. With the instrument cluster, I do have the map up for navigation, just so you can see where you're going. Just hopefully you can see some of this stuff from your view with the GoPro there mounted on the panoramic sunroof. But as far as within the screen here, you can see the dimensions of the vehicle. So if you need to know what you can drive on as far as any off-roading goes, and I know there's not a major off-roading vehicle, but it does have off-road capabilities. And obviously multiple terrains with the different settings for driving modes and all of that good stuff that you have here. But you also have the ability to see how much you can drive through as far as water goes, whether you're off-roading or maybe you're in a situation where you have flooding in your area. I know down here in the Shreveport, Louisiana area, we run into that quite a bit in certain areas of the city. And what will happen is you can see if it's something you can drive through or not, if the vehicle is high enough to make it through. So a very nice feature, just some very nice conveniences. And you know, back there when we were on the not so smooth portion of this road, I am very impressed at the overall ride quality of the Evoque. Typically a subcompact, even though this is a luxury SUV, a lot of subcompact models, shorter wheelbase, not going to ride very well. That's not the case here. I like how Land Rover has designed this model to ride very, very well. Now, I was in comfort mode, not in dynamic, which typically I do drive in the most aggressive driving mode possible, depending on what the vehicle has available. But today I decided to at least start off in a lesser mode. Steering wheel nice and comfortable. You do have a leather wrapped steering wheel, and it is very enjoyable to drive overall. And as far as seeing out of the vehicle, you know, other than the challenges with the rear window that I mentioned earlier, that the clear sight rear view mirror basically eliminates, well, it's pretty easy to see out of. The windows are big enough to see out of well. You know, it's not a full-size SUV, so you're not going to have as large of a window, but still not too terribly bad. Handling is good. That is one of the biggest advantages of a shorter wheelbase subcompact SUV. Now, I have moved over into dynamic mode just so that we can have a little bit of an experience as to how well this model gets down the road. And even though 246 horsepower is not a lot of horsepower, if you want to accelerate into fast moving traffic, or maybe you're on a road similar to what I'm driving on right now, and you have slower moving traffic in front of you. If you had somebody in front of you, it's too bad I don't have a literal example to give you right now, but if you wanted to accelerate around somebody on a road like this, this would be a great place to do it. And overall handling, well, here's where we like to test that. So I'm going to go into the corner here, accelerate out of the corner, easing into the gas pedal. A little bit of a body roll, drifted just a little bit. You know, I have to say the Evoque isn't really made for that kind of thing, but for the interest of fair reporting within the test drive, well, at least there you go. You know what you have. Now, part of that might be that I'm not used to driving this Evoque. And of course, just the overall comfort level of the seats is high. It's a Land Rover. You're typically going to expect that with the Land Rover brand, and the Evoque does not let you down. So overall, my marks are definitely high for the 2021 Evoque. The changes are very good. Even though there's not a lot of changes, the changes that have been made are phenomenal. I like the new infotainment system, even though we've seen it before, like I said earlier. Like the new steering wheel. Everything is very nice here. Of course, the new camera system that we looked at earlier makes a big difference. So I gotta say thank you to my friends at Land Rover of Shreveport for loaning me this model for the day, and all of you for being kind enough to take the time to watch. As always, I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Thanks for taking the time to watch, guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye.